My friend, come closer. Let me speak with you, not as a distant philosopher, but as one who has looked into the hearts of both the triumphant and the defeated, and has learned to recognize the subtle but profound difference between the two. I hear the quiet, damning indictment you pass upon yourself in moments of doubt. You face an obstacle, you feel the strain of your great ambition, your forward progress halts for a moment, and a cruel whisper rises from the depths of your own mind. I am weak. I am a coward. I do not have what it takes. You mistake the trembling of a heavily burdened warrior for the shivering of a frightened child. You look upon the groaning steel of a bridge bearing a mighty load and call it fragile. My friend, listen to me now and let this truth sink into the very marrow of your being. You are not weak. The feeling that engulfs you is not the proof of your inadequacy. It is the undeniable evidence of the immense pressure you are carrying. The strain you feel is a testament to the sheer weight and magnificence of the dream you have dared to pursue. Let us first draw a clear and sharp distinction between weakness and pressure, for they are as different as night and day. True weakness is a state of mind born of aimlessness. The weak man is a leaf in the wind, with no purpose of his own, tossed about by the gusts of other people's opinions and the currents of circumstance. His mind is a vacant lot where the weeds of fear and indecision grow wild and untended. He feels no pressure because he is attempting to carry nothing of value. He has no great definite goal pulling him forward, no burning desire demanding his energy. The emptiness he feels is a dull ache, a spiritual void, not the sharp focused strain of a great effort. Now look into your own heart. Is this a portrait of you? I think not. The very fact that you feel this intense pressure, the very fact that you accuse yourself of weakness tells me that you are not aimless. You have a destination. You have a mountain to climb. You are not a leaf in the wind. You are the architect and the builder of a great edifice, and you are feeling the honorable weight of the stones you have chosen to lift. A coward feels no pressure to be courageous. An unambitious man feels no strain from his own potential. The pressure you feel is the measure of your ambition. It is the bowstring drawn taut, ready to launch an arrow toward a high target. That tension is not weakness. It is stored, potent energy. It is strength under a load. If then this pressure is a natural and noble consequence of a great purpose, the question is not how to eliminate it, but how to understand and master it. To master it, you must first dissect it. From where does this crushing weight originate? It comes first and foremost from the sheer scale of your definite chief aim. If your goal were small and insignificant, the path would be easy and the load light. But you have not chosen a small goal. You have chosen a dream worthy of your soul, and a great dream casts a long and heavy shadow. The pressure comes from the vast expanse between where you are now and where you are determined to be. It is the weight of the future you are pulling into your present. Secondly, this pressure is magnified by the tyranny of how. You hold your magnificent goal in your mind, and your conscious, reasoning mind immediately floods with 1,000 clamoring questions. How will I find the money? How will I gain the knowledge? How will I overcome this obstacle? How will I convince these people? The immensity of the unknown how can feel like a physical weight pressing down upon your spirit, paralyzing your will. And finally, in this modern age, this pressure is compounded by a ceaseless bombardment from the outside world, a torrent of negative news, a chorus of cynical opinions, the constant comparison with the curated successes of others. All of this combines to create a mental and emotional atmosphere so dense it can feel hard to breathe. The uninitiated mind, faced with this onslaught, buckles and says, I am too weak for this. The wise mind understands the load is heavy. I must find a more intelligent way to carry it. A great engineer, when tasked with building a bridge to span a vast canyon, does not try to fashion a single solid beam to bear the entire load. He knows such a beam would collapse under its own weight. Instead, he uses the principles of structural engineering. He designs a lattice of trusses, he builds deep foundations, he erects mighty support pillars. He distributes the immense pressure across a carefully designed system. You must become the master engineer of your own ambition. The pressure you feel is real, but your mistake is in trying to bear it all on one single unsupported point, your own shoulders right now. The first and most critical principle of this mental engineering is to take your massive, overwhelming goal and break it down into a series of smaller, manageable, and definite steps. The pressure of building a financial empire is crushing. The task of making 5 sales calls before noon today is not. The pressure of becoming the leader in my field is paralyzing. The task of reading 1 chapter of this important book tonight is achievable. Your definite chief aim is your destination, your North Star. But your immediate focus must be only on the next step in your definite plan. When you concentrate all your mental energy on the task immediately at hand, the crippling weight of the entire journey vanishes. You are no longer trying to lift the whole mountain at once. You are simply moving a single manageable stone. Success is not achieved in giant, heroic leaps. As I have always said, success is not an accident. It is built from the accumulation of small daily efforts. By breaking down your grand plan, you transform an unbearable pressure into a series of small daily disciplines. You regain your sense of control, and with control comes a renewal of courage. Now that you have a plan to distribute the load over time, you must reinforce the very structure that carries it your own mind. The strongest bridge design will fail if the steel it is made from is brittle and flawed. Your mind is that steel. Its strength is determined by your self-image, by your faith in your own ability to carry the load. This is where the science of autosuggestion becomes your greatest tool for forging mental and spiritual strength. You feel the pressure and your mind whispers, "I am weak." This is a negative autosuggestion, a command to your subconscious mind to buckle and fail. You must consciously and deliberately replace it with a command of strength. You must launch a campaign to sell yourself on your own ability. This is not about lying to yourself. It is about choosing your own truth. Take time each day in quiet and solitude to speak directly to your subconscious mind. Say to it with all the feeling and conviction you can muster, "I possess the strength, the resilience, and the intelligence to manage this pressure. This feeling is not weakness, it is the sign of my growing power. I am a strong and capable architect of my destiny, and I can bear the weight of my great dream." As you repeat this, close your eyes and feel the truth of it. Feel the steel in your spine. Feel the solidity of your resolve. Remember, what the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. If you can conceive of yourself as a person strong enough to handle this pressure, and you can bring yourself to believe it with all your heart, then you will become that person. You are not asking the pressure to go away. You are commanding your own inner self to grow strong enough to match it. This practice, repeated daily, will transform a mind that feels brittle and overwhelmed into one that is tough, resilient, and ready for any load. No great structure stands on a single pillar. No general wins a war fighting alone. The feeling of being crushed by pressure is almost always magnified by a sense of isolation. You believe this is your burden, and yours alone. This is a lie born of fear, and it is a lie that leads directly to collapse. You must build support pillars. You must share the load. This is the profound wisdom behind the principle of the mastermind. A mastermind alliance is a friendly group of 2 or more people who are working in a spirit of perfect harmony for the attainment of a definite purpose. The weight that is unbearable for one becomes manageable when shared among several. You must deliberately seek out and form an alliance with other ambitious, positive individuals. Choose people who are in sympathy with your aim, people who possess strengths where you have weaknesses, people whose courage and faith can bolster your own when it wavers. Meet with these allies regularly. And in these meetings, you must be honest about the pressure you feel. You are not there to complain, but to seek counsel and perspective. Lay out your plans and the challenges you face. A problem that looks like an impassable mountain to your own tired eyes may look like a small hill to be easily surmounted from the fresh perspective of your allies. They can offer a solution you hadn't considered. They can remind you of your own strengths when you have forgotten them. Most importantly, the harmonious energy of a master mind group creates a psychic power far greater than the sum of its parts. It creates a wellspring of faith and courage from which you can all drink. To carry a great pressure alone is an act of foolish pride. To share it with a trusted and harmonious mastermind is an act of profound wisdom. It is a fundamental principle of structural success. Even the most well-designed, well-supported structure needs a mechanism for managing excess stress. In a machine, this is a release valve. In the human spirit, this mechanism is called strategic rest. The mind that is under constant, unremitting pressure becomes brittle. It loses its creativity, its flexibility, its sense of perspective. Burnout is not a moral failing. It is a predictable engineering failure, the result of subjecting a structure to more sustained stress than it was designed to handle. You must, therefore, plan and execute periods of rest with the same seriousness and discipline with which you execute your plan of action. This rest is not an escape from your purpose. It is a vital strategy for achieving it. It is stepping back from the blueprint to clear your head. It is putting down the heavy stone to let your muscles recover. And this rest must be constructive. It is not found in the numbing distraction of mindless entertainment, which often leaves one feeling more depleted. Constructive rest is an activity that recharges your spiritual batteries. It could be a walk in nature, reconnecting you with the simple, powerful rhythms of the earth. It could be engaging with music or art, something that lifts your spirit above the noise of your problems. It could be quiet contemplation or prayer, reestablishing your connection with infinite intelligence. During these periods of rest, you deliberately turn your conscious mind away from your pressures. This allows your powerful subconscious mind the space it needs to go to work, sorting through information, making new connections, and often delivering the brilliant, inspired solution to your problem when you least expect it. The man who boasts that he never rests is a fool. He is a captain who is proudly running his ship's engines at full speed, ignoring the fact that they are overheating and about to seize. The wise man, the master of his own destiny, rests before he is forced to. He releases the pressure strategically so that he may return to his great work with renewed power, fresh perspective, and a resilient spirit. Finally, we must understand the very energy of pressure itself. You feel it as a negative, destructive force. But what is it really? It is a potent form of emotional energy. The feeling of being overwhelmed, the anxiety, the worry, these are intense psychic energies. In their raw state, they are poisons that cloud your judgment and paralyze your will. But the master alchemist of the mind knows a profound secret. Energy can be transmuted. It cannot be destroyed, but it can be changed from one form to another. You can take the raw, chaotic energy of pressure and you can channel it, you can transmute it into the focused, constructive energy of powerful action. This is one of the highest forms of self-mastery. The next time you feel that wave of anxiety, that feeling of being crushed by the weight of your responsibilities, I want you to try an experiment. Instead of succumbing to it, instead of saying, "I can't handle this," I want you to recognize it for what it is, raw fuel. Stand up, take a deep breath, and say, "Here is the power I need." And then immediately channel that intense nervous energy into one single definite vehicle action that moves you toward your goal. Make the phone call you have been dreading. Write the first paragraph of the proposal. Tackle the most difficult task on your list. You will find something miraculous happens. The very act of focused action serves as a conduit for that wild energy. It is transformed from the destructive heat of anxiety into the productive fire of achievement. You are not running from the pressure. You are seizing its power and harnessing it to your own will. This is the ultimate technique of the great achievers. They do not live lives free from pressure. They become masters at riding the very waves that drown other men. So let us revisit this false accusation you have laid against yourself. You are not weak. You are a person of great ambition, and you are feeling the normal, natural, and even honorable consequences of that ambition. The pressure is a sign that you are alive, that you are striving, that you are engaged in the magnificent, challenging work of creating a life of your own design. Do not run from this feeling. Do not curse it, and above all, do not misinterpret it as a flaw in your own character. Instead, embrace it as a confirmation of your purpose. And then, set about to become a master engineer of that purpose. Distribute the load by breaking your goal into daily actions. Strengthen your inner structure through the deliberate cultivation of faith. Build mighty support pillars with a powerful mastermind alliance. Install release valves through strategic, guilt-free rest. And learn to harness the very energy of the pressure itself, transmuting it into the fuel of your achievement. The weight of your dream does not have to crush you. It can be the very force that solidifies your character, deepens your wisdom, and forges you into the powerful, resilient, and magnificent individual you were always destined to be. You are not the victim of the load, my friend. You are the architect of the bridge that will carry it. Now go forth and build it. With wisdom, with courage, and with the unshakable knowledge of your own inherent strength,